Hi, everyone. We are pleased to be invited in this colloquium. My name is Raimond Pinto Estrada, and here with me is Dani Rubio ARAUNA. Dani is a graphic designer and heads ARAUNA Studio, and I'm an interior designer who leads Rai Pinto Studio. We are presenting this video in conjunction with each other because our studios work closely together, mixing our design disciplines to solve healthcare projects. We define the work we do for healthcare as environmental design, which is all about designing ambiances, atmospheres. We use a multidisciplinary approach to solve diverse needs and requirements of hospitals and healthcare centers, including interior design, environmental graphics, that is graphic design applied into the spaces, wayfinding or signage that help you to navigate in buildings, space identity, that is identity design incorporated into the spaces, corporate identity, that is the graphic design to build identities, sometimes interactive design that are specific installations with users' interaction, and also furniture design that are specific works, specific design solutions, or even bespoke furniture. It doesn't mean that we have to use all of them when we work environmental design, but it's just to name a little bit what we do.
Hi, everyone. So, well, we understand our work as a tool at the service of patients beyond medical practice and taking care of their whole experience throughout the whole hospital spaces. We'll try to be more specific, describing the three main functions of environmental design, according to our experience until now, working for healthcare institutions. The first of them is like redefining how a hospital looks like. Medical practice was traditionally almost the only aim of hospitals, basically diagnosis and treatment. And I bet we all agree today we should also pay attention to patient well-being and experience in a more general sense. And that's precisely our goal by means of seeking a more humanized architecture. For us, it's important to separate the look and feel of today's hospital from that negative stereotypes of traditional hospitals I was talking before, usually cold and distant and related in the collective imagination with pain, fear, discomfort, and so on. Instead, we go for spaces that transmit values such as care, comfort, or even play sometimes. In other words, we go for a more human model of hospital, we could say. The way we do it is proposing environments that result surprising and unexpected for hospitals to the users. This is the case, this picture is a case of Sant Joan de Déu in Barcelona. Probably you wouldn't expect this to be an emergency area of a hospital. We've been working for this children's hospital and the design of this children's hospital for the past 7 years, 7 years, I guess. As designers, we believe it's essential to constantly question the pre-established standards of things. So why should a hospital be white and aesthetically aseptic? Always. I guess microbes settle in the same way on a white surface and on a pink one. I mean, there's no difference between colors for microbes or virus. Usually the white and neutral look and feel of a hospital is just like an aesthetic convention, not necessarily a functional factor. Color is crucial when talking about reconsidering how a hospital looks like in the collective imagination. And it's also crucial in technical areas such as this magnetic resonance and imaging room in Barcelona too. And the point number two, connecting with the users.
we understand users as everyone who uses a space. So it's patients and also professionals and families of the patients, everyone. The broad goal about this point is to have a widely and accurate comprehension about the users and fostering strategies to appeal to them. When connecting with users through design, it is essential to remember that all users are important and each one has a different sensibility. Using the example of our work for San Juan de Dios Children's Hospital that Dani was explaining before, it's where we design real scale animal silhouettes hide in the architecture. That was the base of the environmental design project for this hospital. When we were doing this, we took care to understand the different ages of the patients, because what might be likable for kids might be completely uncomfortable for teenagers, for example, and also other aspects such as genders or cultural reference. Keeping in mind also parents and the professionals who have to work in the space every day. In general, trying to do something for kids, but not childish. Very typical nowadays is not strange to find care into the children's hospitals. To find a specific care for the spaces into children's hospitals. But we believe that environmental design has not to be exclusive for an infantile public. The healthcare centers for adults need to care about the patients and their emotions beyond the functionality of the space. In this case, for another hospital, Altaia, in Manresa, a Catalan inland hospital, we work in a project with references with its geographical context and the region which the hospital gives coverage. We apply this theme in a subtle way, having as a reference the wellness spaces to transform the traditional stereotype. Using different design strategies, including bespoke visual poetry, we wanted to bring the surroundings of the region into the interior of the hospital, with the aim to make the patient get away for a while about their situation, or at least create a temporal distraction or something, a pleasant space at least. When we wanted to talk about leaving room for imagination, for us, we mean to design in a way that is going to be the user who is going to have the opportunity to add his own meaning about the project. Or in another way, to leave room for other type of interpretations. It's like, for example, in this project about animals playing hide and seek, again, here we are in the San Juan de Dios hospitals, children's hospital. Depending your point of view, that rhinoceros in the picture, this rhinoceros that is in this room divider might not be noticed. Taking this decision, we avoid something extremely obvious in a very visible place, and not force to everyone to see that image every day, all the time, while everyone might see something colorful. In some cases, also leave room for other type of interpretations. It's like we try to leave the project quite open. The environmental design strategies look for to appeal the public. To produce an emotional connection. It might be something distracting, something playful, or something just aesthetically pleasant, as we are seeing. At the end, the main goal of all of this is to reduce the stress, to reduce the insecurity and fear, typically from healthcare centers, and foster serenity. In this case, project for a children's hospital main hall, we work interactive installations to talk about how the human body works in a playful way. While the project, it offers the option to familiarize about your own body, It creates surprise and curiosity just entering into the hospital. Another aspect is when we do tailor-made concepts. When we saying that, we mean to design thinking about how the space is going to be used and acknowledging what the patients are going to experience, adapting the projects to specific situations, thinking in the experience of the patients. This example, in this case, the operating rooms for Sant Joan de Déu Children's Hospital was important to understand the kid experience when passing by this area, usually in a stretcher, looking to the ceiling. So we adapted the main topic of the hospital, animals hiding in architecture, in a sub-theme, the birds. So in order to add emphasis on the ceilings and work this part of the experience. Sometimes to offer the right solution for the patients, we have to do bespoke solutions, specifically designed for particular situations. In this case, to meet the needs of both professionals and their patients, we facilitated meetings and looked for their feedback while designing this hematological and oncological area. As our approach was to create more of a wellness space where people could receive treatment in a relaxing environment, we created bespoke furniture to hide the technical and medical machinery, while offers hangers and shelves for personal items during treatment. At the same time, it has a foldable room divider extension that you can move if you want more or less intimacy.
So the third point is designing parts in order to design a whole system. You can design and set up a whole hospital all at once. A hospital is a growing complex system. So most of the times, the design project is like an evolving long-term process that produces results bit by bit. And that's why it's important to understand these bits as parts of a whole system. This means designing at first the guidelines that later will rule the parts. And that's basically designing an identity that arranges the space and make them recognizable according to specific values. A solid identity needs a good background. And when talking about designing an identity, we need a bespoke concept that connects with the users and also gathers the values that the institution aims to transmit. The common thread appeals to the users by suggesting a theme or topic that has been specifically designed for that public. Some examples. This is a psychiatric hospital located in Lleida, a small city located in a rural area below the Pyrenees. We designed a set of basic shapes. Each one of them refers to a different aspect of its local context, such as landscape or farming, fruits, rivers, and so on. This set of shapes provides the basic guidelines to design environmental graphics, signage, furniture, and so on. This is another project. In fact, this is a work in progress project. It's a children's hospital in Panama. The common thread is based on one of the most common views for the Panamanian people, maybe, the maritime traffic through the Panama Canal. And it's synthesized in the maritime flag signals. These flags are deconstructed and separated in parts. And these parts conform figures, all of them related with Panama's local context, such as the sea, local animals, maritime transport. And this third example is Dayton Children's Hospital in Ohio, United States. And that's easy. Dayton is where the Wright brothers used to live and where they first achieved to fly. So the common theme here is just things that fly, which is not only planes and rockets, but also animals and so on. When designing a whole system, we focus on creating a visual language that unifies the different spaces, providing a coherent space identity to the whole building. This language must be versatile enough to be able to adapt to every need that we might find in such a complex building as a hospital. For instance, this is a psychiatric treatment center and home for teenagers located in that's important, it's located in a historic modernist building in Barcelona. And the architectural shapes of the building are used in this case as a visual language, connecting directly the users with the building, and it's the building that aims to be their home. So it's like a beautiful connection for us. And these shapes adapt to generate patterns and graphics, from large-scale murals to bed linens, or from small things to big ones. And this last example, again, San Juan de Déu, its visual language summarizes in 3 basic ingredients. First of them is real-scale animal shapes, realistic shapes. Second is repetition patterns. And the third is a specific color palette. So the combination of these 3 ingredients result on an infinite number of animals that spread through the hospital. And each one is different, but all of them are without doubt part of the same system. And this is what provides a solid but versatile identity system to the hospital. And what is more, in this case, the environmental design language became so powerful that it expanded to the whole corporate identity, merchandising, wayfinding, and so on. So I think it's a good example of what a whole identity system based on a visual language is.
In the end, our main goal is to humanize hospitals and healthcare centers and make them more approachable to the patients. And with this goal driving what we do, some of the best feedback we can get is to receive a kid's drawing of our project, like this one shown in this image. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you.